Welcome to the next step. Hi, Yaz. How are you doing today?
Hi, Kevin. I'm doing well. Hi, Anne. Hi, Lisa. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, we have
Hi.
yeah
Hi.
both Ann and Lisa on the call, and I'm looking forward to talking and telling your story, and learning a little bit more about being an amputee. Listen, Lisa, you recently went to, I think, Saturday night to a retirement party for your good friend. How'd that go?
Wonderful. We went to another friend's house and she's like a gourmet cook. And so
Mhm.
we had really good food and she loves wine. And so we had great wine as well.
Who doesn't love
Well,
Ooh,
they
sounds
had
like
great
fun.
wine.
everybody?
Yes.
Well, that's great. That's great. It's hard. So I'm glad she or he have had some fun, and he's moving on in his life, and that's great. How about
Yes.
you, Ann? I know that you're doing some celebrations as well and going away this weekend.
I absolutely am. There's a grandson's birthday party, a skating party on Saturday. I don't know that I can skate. And the two older ones are getting baptized on Sunday. So it's a great weekend for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the other
Congratulations.
and the other thing
Yes.
you're telling me is that you're going away for the first time without your wheelchair.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. That my goal the last week was not to take my wheelchair, and I have not used it in 6 days. And I'm
Wow.
going to my daughter who has a two-story home. So of course I've been maneuvering stairs this week,
Yeah.
and I got a contraption to cover my whole leg so I could shower. So I've been showering for
Nice.
4 days too, standing up.
Wow. That's so
Uh,
exciting.
Nice.
yeah. Good
Yes.
for you. Well, welcome you guys and both of you, and we're going to get started, but we're going to start right from the beginning here. So, Yaz, do you have anything to start?
Yeah, I mean, I am a below the right knee amputee. I got my amputations. I had two surgeries last year in June. And right now I can walk with my prosthetic, but I can't do long walks or anything like that. And I take it easy because I don't want to strain myself and have setbacks. Everybody's journey is different, but being able to work with Kevin and meet all of you guys is so exciting for me. This is a new journey for me, and I'm loving it in that aspect.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm a double amputee, I guess a bilateral amputee, as people know. Yeah, so enough about me. I've jumped right into things.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what was life like for you, Anne, before your amputation? Tell me how life was, how you were living it.
Oh, I was quite active. I walked my dog up and down the stairs every day. I used to ride my indoor bike. I drove my car wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And that's probably the thing that I'm missing the most.
Yeah.
And one of those driving issues was going to Georgia and spending several days or a week at a time when I wanted to. And now I'm sort of stuck because I can't drive yet, Kevin.
Yeah. Do you think you'll drive again? You're going to modify your car?
Uh, mm, my husband says no. We have a Mercedes, but I will get to that point and I'll explain later some other things going on in my life. But that will be like a goal next year. I don't think it'll happen in 25. I think I'm aiming for that for 26.
I guess he's afraid of an accident with the Mercedes, right?
Well, he didn't want to modify the car, but I'm scared of an accident to myself. So I know that there's some things that I'm going to have to do and learn. I've driven a stick shift before, but a stick shift using your left and right foot is completely different than using either just your left foot all the time or learning how to use your right foot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, well, I hope you get there next year. Listen, Lisa, tell us how your life was before your amputation.
So I had a super active life. I worked out with a trainer 5 days a week. I'm a real estate agent as my career, and I was very active, had lots of clients and projects, and I was always on the move.
Yeah. How,
So,
yeah. How has that impacted your career now?
so my career right now is at a standstill. I am not working. Um, and the reason why is because I've had 13 surgeries to date.
Yeah.
And I've had I have cancer. So right now I'm doing chemo peels, and back and forth in the hospital. So I have a lot going on right now.
So no way to get back to work right now, that's for sure. And I think that that happens to a lot of us. I lost my career when I lost my legs. Um,
Hmm.
Too much travel, and I just don't feel comfortable doing the travel. So that's where I am.
Yeah.
What about you, Yaz? Like, what about yours? Yaz, what about
So
your?
I was very active before too. I worked at, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
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 So I was very active as well. And I worked at Winners, TJX Winners. So I was one of the managers and I walked the floor, did the merchant, like did a whole bunch of things and all the time. Worked, I was out of the house maybe 11 hours each day just because it was a drive to commute and everything. So, and I worked out a little bit on the side as well. So everything has changed for me. I also have to learn to drive again because it's my right leg. Um, I don't know if it's going to happen this year either. If it doesn't happen by the end of the summer, I don't think I'm going to try in the winter time. So it might be a 2026 goal for me as well. And um, so, but everything is good. I've learned to take everything step by step and just accept that for everybody it's different and just to understand my own body and my own mind, what is good for me, what I can handle.
Yeah. Great.
How about you, Kev?
Well, for me, I'm not driving right now. I'm just too scared with two amputations. I got to learn how to walk first. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing right now. But I hope to drive again one day, but just it's not high priority for me right now. And again, my career just
Hmm.
came to a standstill after this. So hey, listen, Anne, tell me a little bit about when you first realized something was seriously wrong.
Actually, it was this month, 12 months ago, July. A lump showed up on the top of my foot, and I had had issues with my foot for 10 years with another surgery and just some other items, but no foot doctor could tell me what was wrong. So I went into the orthopedic folks who did my hip, and they were kind of scared. The MRI showed what they thought was a complex hematoma. So we scheduled surgery. I waited for a trip and did it in September of 24. It came back a week later that it was UPS, undifferentiated pleomorphic sarcoma. So I met with the surgeon on the anniversary of my mother's passing of 16 years, and he suggested I have the amputation, and I sort of cried. So that was the beginning of me learning what I had, but life changed after that.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of us, you certainly remember when the surgeon tells you that you're going to lose your limb. And I think a lot of us break down, and I know I did. It's just a natural thing. Um, Lisa, tell us a little bit about what's gone on with you and how you discovered things have gone bad. You mentioned that you have cancer, and where does your story start?
So it started in the pandemic. I had just worked out, and like 3 days later, I woke up one morning, my leg was swollen like almost an elephant leg, and I'm dragging it. I get out the bed, I fall, excruciating pain, and I grab the biofreeze and I'm putting biofreeze on it. Finally, I could make it to the couch, but I couldn't get into the doctor, so I just kept the biofreeze, and I was still working, so I just jumped back into work, even though, I was in pain. And so towards the end of August, I was able to get into the doctor. The first doctors, they misdiagnosed it and gave me a surgery that I didn't need. And they sent me over to the radiologist because they said that they were non-cancerous tumors. They called it sonomus proliferation. And they said the good news was I wasn't going to lose my leg.
Right.
So they sent me over to the radiologist, and she's the one that discovered, that this is not what they said it was. And she says she didn't understand why they did not MRI my whole leg. So
Right.
she MRI'd it. She says, I have a team that's going to be looking at it. And I was in her office on a Monday. The MRI was on Wednesday, and she had me in Dr. Ascoli's office on Friday. She fast-tracked me. I believe they knew it was cancer. They just didn't know what kind of cancer it was because it was growing out of my bone, back into the bone, wrapping around the tendons, the muscles, the nerves, growing up my leg, wrapping around the knee and into my thigh. It was massive. So I went to see Dr. Ascoli. He said, I'm going to have to do 2 surgeries. And when the doctor tells you, I'm worried about you, you know it's something serious.
Right.
And so they did the surgery and they biopsied it and found out I have what they call myxoskeletal quadrasarcoma, which is a soft tissue cancer. It's one of the worst because the only way to get it out is to cut it out. Like chemo and all of that can only shrink the tumors, but it doesn't cure it. And so he said, the good news at that time, it had not spread to my lungs, but the bad news was they were going to have to amputate my leg. And
Yeah.
so initially, I'm like, wow, I wasn't prepared for that.
Right.
But any event, he said, well, did you want to go home and discuss it with your family? And I'm like, no, let's set up the surgery because if this means that I can live, because it was either I amputated the leg or I would die,
Yeah.
because the cancer was just so out of control. And so got on the schedule, they amputated the leg, and I just didn't look back, and I was happy before the surgery, and I made the choice to say, no matter what I go through, I'm still going to be happy,
Good for you.
and yes, and it did metastasize to my lungs. It did come back in my thigh, and I had lung surgery. And after the lung surgery, I have it on my right and my left. It came back, so I've been, on treatments, and I also went through the osseointegration. So that's why I've had so many surgeries,
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
let's talk about that in a few minutes. But
Okay.
I'm sorry you've gone through so much. Like it's incredible.
Yes.
Like you're not just dealing with cancer, but you're also, got the amputation. One thing I do
Yes.
hear on a lot of these podcasts and talking to other amputees, it is like that. It's like either I live or I die. There's
Yes.
no in between. So the decision.
Yeah.
People say, "How did you decide to do that?" Well, it was an easy decision. I really wanted to
Okay.
be here. Yeah,
Life or death.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Can
Uh,
you both tell us, we'll start with Anne, but can you both tell us how did you mentally deal with all of this? Like there's such a quick progression with everything. How did you deal with life after amputation? How did you accept it? And was it a mind thing? What helped you?
Well,
And
for me, yes. It's interesting when I talked to Lisa, she saw the same doctors I saw when I had to go to Emory with me,
wow.
the hurricane
Mhm.
that hit.
Yeah.
That's who Dr. Ascoli is, who found that rare benign tumor. And after several surgeries with Emory, and they couldn't save my foot, and he told me in December, I think, that the ulterior the bottom line is you probably need to take the foot. When I came back to Asheville, I wanted to meet with the doctor before I fully made the decision. But it wasn't a hard decision because it was cancer. Two doctors couldn't save my foot.
Mm.
And everybody in my family, especially my daughter said, I'd rather have a mom without a foot than no mom at all. So that decision, like Lisa, made it easy for me to say, do it. And I think that I have probably just like Lisa, her work family, my own personal family, which is extremely large, my children, my friends, all were very supportive for me. And for me, I'm a talker.
Mm.
So the more I talked about it, the easier it was to come to fruition for me that I need to do this. I'm going to be okay. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it, but I want to live. And so, again, it wasn't a hard decision. And I feel that I've been extremely positive and grateful and blessed with those folks that are around me, including you guys as well.
Yeah, well, we feel the
Thank
same.
you so much. And yeah, we feel the same.
Yeah.
Like this group is very, very important to me. And I'm so thankful that Kevin created it, Kevin and Chris, because it's just a different world, but it's
Yeah.
so positive, I find. No matter how negative the experiences have been, like how traumatic and everything, every single person that I've spoken to has come out very positive.
Yeah.
And being able to share it and everything. And what about you, Lisa? What kept you moving forward and accepting it and everything?
So I think everything starts with mindset. And I am a very spiritual person. I learned to meditate when I was 7. I come from a very spiritual family and a very loving and supportive family. And my family rallied around me. Like,
Mhm.
my family, like my cousin, our mothers were sisters. She's retired. She came here when I had my surgery. My other cousin came, my daughter. They spent 45 days till I healed, went home, came back. Every surgery, they set up like a schedule and they all fly in. And even my work family, they're supportive. They set up, schedules where they drop off food and they have taken me to doctor's appointments for my chemo. And it's just the love, that's very healing. I set my house up with healing. I believe in crystals, like amethyst is for healing. I have crystals in my house. I'm saging. I wake up with gratitude. And I just keep a very positive environment in my house. And normally I'm the kind of person that whatever, is thrown to me, I'm going to come through it no matter what. And anybody that knows me knows that about me.
What a,
And it's not to say that, I wouldn't like to have both of my legs, but hey, this is what I have been thrown, and I'm going to make the best of it,
yeah.
you know? And even financially, like I did very well before the pandemic, but with not working, I've become financially challenged. And, I just wake up with gratitude and I say, okay, God, it's in your hands,
Yeah.
and by the grace of God, there are angels that show up. My work family's been very, very good, and it's just the power, I believe, of love and mindset. Mindset dictates how you live your life.
Yeah.
I
And
love that, Lisa.
the way you
Hmm.
live your life, the way you describe it is, we all should kind of work towards that, uh,
Hmm.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, listen,
And I
you were both in inpatient rehab, right? You both went into inpatient rehab.
Yes.
Um, and why don't you tell me about your experience there and how it made a difference, how it contributed to your healing?
It was difficult because of the pressure points and what I would call pain at the time. But they taught me how to listen to my body
Mhm.
and to focus on what I needed to focus on to make sure that I took the pressure off of the prosthetic touching my leg. And the encouragement that I got. I mean, the first day I went, I started off with a K2 foot when I probably could have done a K3 was what the doctor told me, but I think that was good for me. The main physical therapist said, I think in 4 weeks you're going to be not using, your walker, because at the time I was using a walker. And by the time you're at 8 weeks, I think you're going to be, without the wheelchair and a cane. So that was what gave me the inspiration and having the goals to meet what they thought I was going to do.
Yeah.
So I had it in my mindset, I'm going to do that. And the last time I went to the PT, before I'm going to hopefully get this new leg, was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And I walked around the entire building with a ball in my hand because I said my hard part is using the cane outside, but I'm always looking down. And he said, okay, I carried a ball for 30 minutes
Hey,
where I
yeah.
couldn't look at the ground. And I went up hills and down hills and outside and back in. I didn't do stairs, but after 30 minutes, I was pretty tired. But that gave me more of the motivation to get away from
Yeah.
definitely the walker, which I haven't used, and now the wheelchair, and trying to eventually get rid of the cane.
Yeah. Good.
Wow,
What?
that's fantastic. I mean, talk about learning how to balance, right? And not because I find looking down very makes it more difficult as well. But at the beginning, I had to do that.
Yes.
But that's fantastic. What a great idea.
One of
But
the
you'll definitely have to do it around somebody professional, though,
one
right?
of
For
the
the first
things we
time.
talk about
Yes.
um, is connection, right? So limb loss connection. The reason why we name that is because we believe that connectivity with other people with the same experience really is empowering and uplifting for us. And both of you called that out in the last little segment there about connecting with your family, connecting at rehab, connecting on this call. So it's really important for our listeners to understand that some of them are brand new to this. They lost their leg today or yesterday. And what I would say to them is get out there and start meeting some people that are also amputees. Join Facebook groups and whatnot, because it does really help. And I'm so glad that we're all connected here. Um,
Me
yeah,
too.
So for me, I did outpatient physical therapy the first go around when I first became an amputee to learn to walk on my prosthetic leg that I had previously. Previously, I was using sockets and none of the sockets worked for me. I would be walking and my leg would just slide off because oh my God, after the amputation, I would get so hot, I would sweat profusely. And I never was a person that sweat. And it wasn't until I got into some of the Facebook amputee groups that I learned that that's common with
yeah,
amputees.
Yeah, it's
You know,
normal.
because I was like, oh my God, is it just me? Like, this is disgusting, you know? And so, like, I just would laugh because it was just funny. Here I am walking and my leg falls off. You know, who could even
yeah,
think of that,
No,
you know?
yeah,
And
exactly.
so that's why I decided to do osseointegration. And
yeah,
because I read up and Dr. Ascoli told me about it, that, you know, it would just be a life changer because of the fact that I would never have to worry about my leg falling off. I don't have to wear sockets, those big bulky things, and you got to buy your clothes so big, you know, to fit over the
Yeah.
socket.
yeah,
And if anybody knows me, I love fashion, and I used to love my high heels. And
Uh,
so I'm like, my goal is to get back to heels,
Yeah.
you know, and to have a better quality of life, you know, and be able to really walk proficiently. And I'd like to get back to working out and really have some normalcy in my life.
Mhm.
And so that's why I did osseointegration, because the sockets just did not work. So right now I've been in a wheelchair because it's a two-part surgery for like almost 2 years, you
mm,
know. And so I'm just now getting ready to do physical therapy for osseointegration at the end of this month. And I'm super excited, you
yeah.
know.
Great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I haven't let the wheelchair stop me. You know, I do drive, you know, with my left leg because I'm a right above the knee
Mhm.
amputee. And, you know, it's easy once you get the hang of it, you know. And so a lot of times people drive me, but if it's an emergency and I have to get somewhere, I am able to drive myself.
You know,
Wow.
I
That's
spoke
fantastic.
to him yesterday. She loves motorcycles, and
Mm.
she actually was born with no arm, and she wanted to ride a motorcycle and so badly. So they customized the motorcycle so that the throttle and the brake are on the one side, so she can drive with one hand, and she rides
Oh,
like
nice.
a big motorcycle, big Harley, and it's just incredible.
Wow.
It's incredible what
Yeah.
you can do, right? You know, is what I'm saying, and you can achieve whatever you want. You're gonna wear those high heels.
Yes.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Oh, again, it's all about mindset. Once you set
Yeah.
your mind to it, you
Yep.
know, and you're determined, you just kind of get laser focused on things, you know?
Can I throw in about mindset because I'm a swimmer and my mindset was to get in the pool. And I didn't worry too much about people seeing me without a leg, but darn it, I I dreamed about it, Lisa, how I was going to do it. I talked to PT how I was going to do it, and by golly, I did it. And I go
Yes.
down and I get in and out
Fantastic.
of the pool and I swim, put the leg back on, and go back to my chair and read my book. So
Yes.
Wow.
I haven't let that stop me. But high heels are definitely in my wheelhouse eventually.
Yes. I did the same thing with swimming because I love to swim, and I live in a condo building, and it
Mhm.
was packed at the pool, and one of my friends was over, and I just took my leg off in front of him and told my friend, "Hey, put my leg over there." And she brings that up to this day. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this girl took her leg off in front of everybody." She said, "Set my leg over there." And she just was like, I'm worrying about, oh my God, you know, how does my swimsuit look? She takes off a whole leg, you know?
I
So,
love that. I love that.
yes,
Sharing stories like that so people know, you know what? Like, there are so many more important things in
yes,
life that
mhm,
we can enjoy,
mhm,
and just not minding what other people are going to think. Because a lot of them, they just don't know, right? Because they haven't
yes,
been educated or surrounded or, just
exactly.
aware and everything. But it's a new thing for them, and it doesn't mean that they can't accept it. It's just new. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
exactly.
love that. I
And you
love
got
that
to have
spirit.
fun with this. You have to have
Yes.
fun with this, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
Because that just keeps life, you being grateful and keeps
Hmm.
life moving, you know?
Can
Yes.
I tell you a quick story when I was scheduling my surgery real quick?
Yeah.
It's quick, Kevin. I
Okay.
said to the doctor, and I told this to my family because I'm a joker. Well, I guess when I'm in the Atlanta airport, I'm going to be able to schedule one of those little rides that I can ride on, to my next
Right.
stop.
Yeah.
I'll be able to get a handicap parking sticker, which, is great. My husband said I'm not going to use it, but guess what? He uses it. And the doctor said, "And what is that thing that you get done with your feet?" I said, "Pedicures." He said, "Yours should be half price."
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I
My
love
my
that.
wife won't
Yes.
use the parking pass without me in the car. She doesn't feel right. I'm
we
like,
have two.
use it. Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you guys, you both are swimmers, and so am I. I haven't swam in 3 years. and I want
Oh
to get
gosh.
back in the pool this summer so bad. How do you get in and out of the pool?
Well, I'll tell you what I did because I'm up below the knee like Lisa. I bought a pad thinking I was going to need it beside the pool, but I didn't. So I actually go, I have my leg on. I usually keep either flip flops attached to it or swim shoes. I go to the stairs. I sit down, step down into the water, and
Okay.
then I sit down. I take my leg off and I set it off to the side, and then I get into the pool and kind of scoot down on the stairs until I can swim. And I actually have a little float I can sit in and float. When I get out, I just simply sit out. I have a small towel. I dry my leg off, put the leg back on, keep my other good leg in the pool, and then I use the stair handle, the rail to stand up. And then I do have my cane outside, Kevin, to because I
Yeah.
have to go up and down some stairs. So I do have that there to walk from the edge of the pool to my chair. And there's even children that are around. My grandkids are okay with it, but there's other kids at our pool that are like, "Hey, you got a bionic leg."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
How
But
cool
it's
is that, right?
That is
yeah,
cool.
but you can do it, Kevin. You can do it.
yeah.
Yeah, you can.
The
For
thing,
me, I
oh,
always pull a chair up to the pool where
mhm,
the steps are. I take my leg off because I don't put my leg in the water because I have a microprocessor.
right.
And
Right.
um, I lower myself down from the chair to the little ledge, where the steps are. And I just scoot down each step and then just start swimming. I have my
Good,
one leg,
good.
and I do stand up sometimes on my one leg, and I
Yep.
practice balance with my one leg a lot. So it's pretty strong, so I can stand on the one leg, but I just scoot down in the pool.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think
Wow, that's fantastic.
getting in the
Yeah.
pool, not too worried about. People ask me, how are you going to get in? I'm like, I'm going to fall off a lawn chair.
Well,
No,
you'll
I
figure
think you
out.
need to get down on the edge
Yeah.
of the pool and then take your leg
Yes.
off and turn around.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
You can
part,
do it. You can
part
do
that,
it.
the one thing that works
Yes.
for me is just your buoyancy. Like, do you find like you can actually swim across to the deep end and back, and you're not sinking to the bottom? Like, you're
Yeah.
Y-
Because you're gonna float if you just lay your body out.
true. Yeah,
You
true.
know, you know
So,
what's funny? When I was in Tennessee last month, I didn't. I scooted myself from the chair to the ground and into the little wave pool. That's how
mhm.
and then they floated me on the lazy river. When I got into a regular pool through the seat to brought me down because I wasn't able to get in. The minute I sat down, the leg goes like that. So, Kevin, I'm worried for you that when you sit down and you've got two below the knee, you
Yeah.
might float.
Oh, fly up like that. Yeah.
The leg goes like that
Yes.
immediately.
My friends
Yes.
all
Get you
tell me
some
I'm just
little floaties. Put on little
yeah.
floaties.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So listen, what other things have you achieved besides swimming? Have you done any other kind of sports or anything like that?
I
And
did
Me.
the the clinic that goes around from state to state, where you're doing like an obstacle course type thing. I did that. It's with Cardis, I guess.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
considering
just
going
look
to
for it.
yeah, I'm considering Toronto has a an event coming up in August. It's wheelchair tennis.
Hmm.
Oh,
So I was thinking about just trying it out, but then the other parts that I think about is like, do I really want to learn how to play in a wheelchair? I want to get out of this thing.
Yeah, but why
yeah, yeah,
not?
But it
Be
looks like,
active.
yeah.
yeah, it sounds like fun, right? Like, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
to me, it's just like doing things out of your comfort zone, to like we know you want to get out of the wheelchair, but don't let the wheelchair hold you back. So if
yeah,
you're
Yeah.
getting out there just being active, having fun with it,
Hmm.
that's going to motivate you to keep moving forward.
Hmm.
Right.
yeah, definitely. Um,
So I was just curious about Lisa, your I can never pronounce it. So that
Osteo
type of
integration.
osteo integration,
Integration.
that type of surgery may not be for everybody. And do you know why your doctor thought you were a good candidate for that surgery and it worked out amazing for you? I know it's your reason was you didn't want to sweat and have the leg fall off, but can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think there are other candidates who are interested in getting something like that.
So yes, it isn't for everyone because one of the side effects from it is you're prone to infection.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very careful. But what
Yeah.
they do is they go in and they drill in the bone and they put a titanium rod in the bone. That's the first part of the surgery. Then you have to heal from that and let the bone encapsulate around that metal piece.
Yeah.
And then the second part of the surgery is they go in and they add the other metal piece, which is the abatement, to the one that's inside the bone, and it sticks out of my thigh. And that's what I will connect my prosthetic leg to. And the reason why it wasn't just because I sweated, it was because the regular prosthetics, you have a socket. The sockets never worked, and I've had every
Mhm.
socket that's out there, and they just didn't
Mhm.
work for me. You know,
Yeah.
the sweating and all of that, my leg was still falling off. I mean,
Yeah.
it was horrible.
Did you
And
ever
so,
Especially because you're pretty active, right? So even with the
yes,
movement and everything, it wouldn't stay
exactly.
in place.
did you ever try
Not at all.
did you ever try the pin at all?
I tried everything.
Yeah.
I had the pin, I had every kind of socket there was.
Okay.
It
Wow.
just, none of it worked.
The
And so
osteointegration, one thing I've heard is that if you're diabetic, they don't like to do that. And
that could be true.
the reason being is your bone density, you lose bone density with diabetes as you progress through the disease. So they don't, I've asked about it myself and they're like,
Uh-huh.
you're not a candidate because of
Yeah.
so
And I
Mhm.
can understand that also with diabetes, because one of the side effects is you're prone to infection
right.
with osseointegration. And I was just in the hospital for 8 days because I got a skin infection in my at the end of my limb, but it wasn't a major infection, so it had nothing to do with my osseointegration. It's just sometimes you get skin infections on your leg. And
Mhm.
so thank God that I went to the doctor. I'm very in tune to my body because with that, I found out I had a blood clot. And then
Oh
my
my God.
tumors in my lymph nodes swole up so
Mm,
big. And
Wow.
so that's why I'm on the chemo pills and I'm having chemo infusion as well.
right.
So, you know, um,
But
but with the
Wow.
integration, like, I'll be able to hike, which I'm a walker and I used to love to go to this walking trail and walk the park. And so I can get back to that, I can get back to working out and not have to worry about my leg falling off.
yeah, yeah,
So it's just going to give me a better quality of life because
Yeah.
the leg is stable, and I
Right.
don't have to worry about the socket moving. And Dr. Ascoli is the doctor here in Georgia at Emory who actually does osseointegration.
Mhm.
He's a
That's
great doctor.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's an awesome doctor.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
are the odds that both of you had the same doctor,
I
eh?
know.
And
It's amazing.
the same Dr. Reed. We both had
Oncologist.
Dr. Reed.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Dr.
That's
William Reed is who
amazing.
treats me as well for my sarcoma. He
Yeah.
Yeah.
specializes in sarcomas, and they are doctors that truly care about their patients.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
a big difference,
it
doesn't
does,
it?
Dr.
and you can
Oscoe was
feel it. You
Dr.
know.
Oscoe was the
Yeah.
one that found the rare tumor in my foot, which is like I told y'all 1 in 10 million. He couldn't even
Yeah.
pronounce the word. So You know,
Yeah.
it was kind of interesting. I'm grateful that I got there, even though it turned out that I lost, below the knee. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but you saved your life.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And one thing I do want to ask you, because both Anne and Lisa, you both mentioned that you had a lot of support, a lot of love, work family, actual family, just a lot of support around you. But there are some people who don't have people in their
Yeah.
lives like that. And what would some of your advice or words be to some of these new amputees?
I would say
Go ahead,
create
Lisa.
family because family is not just about blood.
Yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
it's about people who just love you and
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
you have that connection with. And
Mm.
Yeah.
so I would say get out, um, be a part of some of the amputee groups, your
Mm-hmm.
local, friends that you already have.
Yeah.
Build deeper relationships and connections with them.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
would be
really good word,
surprised.
deeper.
I
Yeah.
would be surprised that any amputee didn't have somebody, whether they're not blood related, like Lisa said, who didn't love you, want to, be there for you.
Hmm.
I mean, I have people in my condo building that I don't know very well, and they've been here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my kids, my family that lives far away, wanting to fly in, and I'm like, I know I'm going to let my kids do what my kids need to do because my kids want to be there for me. My
Yeah.
daughter kept me for 8 weeks during the hurricane. She came in after surgery. My son was here with his wife. Prepared food, I think, lasted us two, three
Yes.
weeks. Other
Wow.
people sent in soups and pies, and I think we ate for 2 months on things, But I would think just for me, like I said, I'm a talker. So the more I shared, the more people would say, "Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
just talked to somebody the other day, and she's an agent down in South Atlanta, Lisa, and she said my mom's been a left amputee for 14 years." Or no, right amputee for 14 years, and she drives with her left foot. So the more I talk, the more I hear somebody
Yes.
has a friend, a family member, a coworker.
Yeah.
My question is, I don't see a lot of amputees out in public. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, and I wish we were in public more, or TV commercials, whatever. I've seen
Yes.
two since I've had my leg amputated that were in public, not at physical therapy, not at the hospital, but out in
Yeah.
public. Only two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
We
actually don't never
were-
seen anybody besides people that I've known from our group. I've never seen anybody out there who shows it. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people they just wear the pants over it, and I've shared this with Kevin in the group how I find it's really I didn't know I was going to do this after my surgery, but now I prefer to go out showing my prosthetic. I feel more comfortable
Yeah.
because I'm not hiding who I am. This is who I
Yes.
Right.
am right now, and you know I don't know how else to explain it other than this is me. Why should I hide it, right? I like fashion like Lisa, so I just still put myself together with cute outfits just because that's how my
Yes.
brain works.
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
not
I
it's
find
not
when
anything like, oh,
I find when I'm
I'm
out,
like you, Yaz. I'm like that
yeah,
too. I show mine because I wear
yeah,
dresses all the time. I've always
yes,
worn dresses. And if it's tennis shoes, I buy cute tennis shoes to match
yeah,
the outfit,
yes,
Yeah.
Um,
you know,
comb your hair, put on your makeup,
yeah,
just have fun.
exactly. I can
And
still
when you
enjoy
look
life like
good,
this,
you
right?
feel better too,
yeah,
Yeah.
I find when
you
I'm
know?
out, I do see somebody that's an amputee. I automatically run to them and have a conversation with them.
Me
Yeah.
too.
And I actually see quite a few. I don't know why.
Really? Where do you see
Huh.
them, Kev?
Well, I'm 3 days a week at dialysis, right? And it's a
Okay,
diabetes
okay.
clinic, so a lot of diabetics have lost their legs.
Mm,
So
okay.
Yeah.
I run into them all the time, and I was just at a pool company, like to get a part for my pool, and this guy walked by, and he's a bilateral amputee, and
Mm,
you couldn't tell. He just walked around
Right.
like, and he had this
Yeah.
heavy pump in his hands, right? and he's able to walk around the store like that. I was amazed. But again, I had to run over and talk with him. Hey, I do
Yeah.
back up and say one thing. Lisa, you said something interesting I found is that your family doesn't have to be your family. And I
Right.
find like I've
Mhm.
got a family in you guys.
Hmm.
Yes.
Them lost. I've got a family with my golf buddies that I used to golf with. I've got another family because I volunteer at the hospice here. And so you have
Yeah,
multiple families that support you.
exactly.
So
Right.
Yes.
I really like that. I wanted to call that out. I really liked what you said there.
And I want to say what Ann said. I would love to see more amputees in commercials, movies, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
even the runway,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
There's
you know,
only there's only one that I see on TV, and it's on the tracker, and he's a bilateral, but he was born that way.
yeah,
Um,
Hmm.
Well,
when there was a movie of a young boy that was born without a leg, and I don't know the name of the movie. My sister told me about it, so I had to go watch it. But he actually, was a wrestler, and he wound up, progressing on to the nationals, I guess it is. But he is a speaker, and he's married with children, and it gave me chills to read about him personally. I in Georgia at Collins Hill High School, Lisa, over there in Lawrenceville, there was a young man who had no arms or legs, and he played football, and he was a wrestler, and he won the nationals
wow.
in
nice.
the state, and I think the nationals. But he was born that way, and I met him a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
And when I met him, and he said, "I'm Kyle," and when I went to go shake his nub because that's just the way he was. It didn't bother me at all to
Yeah.
meet somebody like that. It's interesting when we talk about people looking at us. Yes, I've had children look at me and I'll say, "Do you want to ask me a question?" And they're like, "Well, yeah." And I said, "Well, I had a really bad Bobo, and the doctor had to take my foot, and I have a special leg." And they're like, "Okay." And they walk
Yeah.
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you catch people looking at you, looking at
Yeah.
Yeah.
your leg, or looking at like you're in the wheelchair. And instead of it being awkward, just make it
Yeah.
easy, you know?
That's
Yeah.
what I've done. I'll say, "Do you want to, do you
Yeah.
want to ask me a question?" kind of thing.
It's usually the
That's fantastic.
usually the
I love
grown
it.
ups that have a little they feel
Yeah.
awkward more than the kids do, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the
Yeah.
kids, you see
I
them
really
looking because it's something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hate the word disability. I
Yeah.
hate being called disabled because I don't feel like I am. I'm challenged, but I'm not disabled. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, that
I
word really doesn't bother me, and I make jokes about it.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
when my friends are asking me stuff, and I'll just say, I'm disabled. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And we laugh about it and go
Yeah,
on. Like,
that's good.
I
Yeah.
just say you got to find humor and stuff,
Yeah.
My
I
my
think it really
son's
depends on your attitude, right? I remember
Yeah.
one
yes.
of my friends, I hadn't seen her in many, many years, like 20 years. We used to work together, and then she came to visit me, we went out for lunch, and she goes, "Yes, like, I mean, I want to be like," I was all like thinking, okay, like, you're delicate, like I have to be, I don't, maybe like have empathy and everything for you, but she goes, but I don't feel that way. Like, look at you, like your attitude and everything. Like, it doesn't even feel like anything's wrong, is
Yeah.
how she described it.
Yeah.
So,
So yes, you have to
yes,
put your best foot forward. When
yes.
I when I met my son's coworkers back in May, he said, "I'm going to bring my mom in to meet you," and I went in into the wheelchair, but he said, "Oh, is she going to put her best foot forward?" And my son was like, "Oh my God!" But see, that's the way we have to be, is to kind of
Yes,
joke about it. And yes, I'm going to put my
I
Yes.
best
agree.
foot forward every day of the week.
I
I
Exactly.
agree. I love it.
I had a contractor come and we redid the bathroom and then I said, "Will you give me a quote on the other one?" So he goes in, he looks all around and comes back out. He says, "Well, listen, I'm not going to charge you an arm and a leg." And I'm like, I hope not because I would like to keep my arm." And anyway, Hilarious. There's those little moments of humor, right? Somebody else said to me, "Hey, do you need a hand?" I'm like, "No, I need a leg."
Yeah. And you know what I think? It humanizes, what you're going through. It takes the stigma off of what
Yes.
we're going through when we
Yep.
can joke, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel like what people normally would have thought was not normal. Now it
Mhm.
becomes all like blended. It's normal. It's just a different way. It
Exactly.
just looks like not a common look, but it
Yes.
doesn't mean anything abnormal.
Yeah. And I think for people, if they just try it, it'll make them feel better too, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, this has been a wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed spending some time with
Yeah.
you. But
Me
before we close
too.
out, do you wanna say anything? I'm gonna give you the final words, okay? So, Anne, why don't you go first? Do you have anything to wrap up with?
I would just say to any other amputees who are, whether it's arms or legs, who watch the podcast, just to continue to be positive. Life does go on.
Yeah.
Um, Surround yourself with, I believe faith, family, and friends. Those are
Yes.
the three F's I live by. Um, and I think as long as somebody stays positive, even if they have to go meditate or say a prayer, or just to be quiet for a little while, um, life does go on, and
Yes.
it's just going to be different, and it's going to be what you make out of it.
That's
Nice.
100% true.
Love it.
I love
Very well said.
well said. Yeah.
And I will say, wake up with gratitude in your heart because everybody didn't have the opportunity to wake up. And if you are, show gratitude, that will soften your heart. That will also bring you blessings because there's blessings all around us.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
if you're too bogged down, you miss the opportunity, you miss the gift,
Yeah.
and life is a gift because life is messy, life is hard, it's full of challenges, but it's not what you go through, it's how you come through it, and
Absolutely.
true happiness starts within. And if you
Mhm.
just try it one day at a time, a little bit at a time, just set a goal that, okay, I'm going to be happy for 20 minutes. And then the next day, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 40 more minutes. And before you know it, you'll forget what you're actually going through,
Yeah.
because of the fact that you will build the tools in order to deal with it.
Right. Well,
Love
You
that.
know,
you both are so inspirational. You should write a book,
Yes.
two of you together.
yes.
Lisa, let's get on the phone and do that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
I'm really glad to have you in my life. So it's really nice to meet you
Me
both.
too.
Awesome.
Thanks for doing this
Ditto.
And
today.
I challenge you guys all to be happy,
Absolutely.
no
I, you,
matter what,
you
I
don't have to
love
challenge
that.
me. I already am.
Yes,
I already
Me
am.
too. I am
that's
happy as
beautiful.
well.
Yeah.
But
No
I want
matter what
to,
the setback is.
yeah. I think what I wanted to add to what both Anne and Lisa said, it's exactly everything that you said. And also, this actually, I think, strips down a lot of things in life, the materialistic things, the
Yes.
superficial things, and it allows us to really, because instead of concentrating on, oh, I cannot do this anymore, I can't do this, I can't do that, but all of the little things that now I have and like I have that connection to focus
Mhm.
on all the other little things in between things that I never had time to pay
Yes,
attention to.
that's
Just the weather even, being
Yeah.
able to make my own coffee and enjoy it and just, friends, like new friends, new things that
yes.
I'm learning. So I think I'm really thankful for everything um, that has come along my way.
Mhm.
And I just hope that for new amputees out there and for anybody who is trying to make a decision, that we've helped you, like this segment has helped you. And if you would like to get more support, please visit us at limblossconnection.com.
Awesome.